Hi, I'm Harvey Hahn, cardiologist at Kettering Health Network. I'm going to be talking about how to use habits to reach your goals. Here's a great quote that I like. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Habits are really the easy way to make things get done. All right, anyone know what January 17th is? It's actually called Quitter's Day. That's the day when most people have already blown off their New Year's resolutions. All right, now none of us want to be that way. We want to actually make a resolution, stick to it, and achieve the stated goal. So these are the 5 most common goals, and we've all seen these before. Lose weight, exercise, spend less money, quit smoking, become a better person. Now what's interesting here, or kind of disappointing, is that over time, people start giving up their resolutions, and eventually 88% will give up on the New Year's resolution. At 6 months, half people have already off their resolutions. How can we avoid being these people? Now, kind of my personal choice here. So even though I'm a cardiologist, I had gained about 45 pounds, the typical excuses, work, marriage, kids. And then I got my knee injured and I said, I gotta make some changes here. So I changed my habits. I became vegan, I started running, started sleeping more. I went from a night person to an early riser and made a dramatic difference in my health. If you want to read more about my story, you can check it out on Runner's World online. Now, more importantly, a lot of people say just use willpower, just kind of push through it. Now, what does Shakespeare say? He'd probably agree, get some willpower. Unfortunately, willpower doesn't work. Willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, you can get stronger. But just like a muscle, if you keep having to use willpower all the time, that muscle is going to fatigue and it's going to eventually fail. And then when that happens, people are off their habits, off their resolutions. Your thoughts are your beliefs. This is a great quote. Winning is a habit. Watch your thoughts, they become your beliefs. Watch your beliefs, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. They become you. So just like the first quote by Aristotle, we are going to be what we perpetually do. We can reshape ourselves by our habits. Now, one of the big ways to do this is set priorities and set a schedule. Take exercise, for example. If you want to exercise, the best thing to do is say, I'm going to exercise at 5:30 p.m. on the way home from work, or I'm going to exercise at 7 a.m. before I go to work. You make a schedule and you book it, an appointment with yourself. Now, if you had an appointment with your boss, would you blow off that meeting? No. Now, we shouldn't blow off the meetings with ourselves. Another way to do this is really well described by Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits. And I'm going to go through this in detail here. Box number 1, that's where most people spend their time. It's urgent and important. This is things like paying the bills. They're due every month, but for some reason we put them off, and now we got to drop everything else to do it. My favorite thing is Christmas. People will say, it's Christmas again. It's always December 25th, but you don't shop all year long. Then it's a mad hassle at the end, so you don't eat right, you don't exercise, you drop everything else to buy gifts that your friends and family are going to return anyway. Now, what we really want to do is you want to live in box 2. It's not time pressing, it's not urgent, but it's very important. And these are things like exercise, time with your spouse, time with your kids, also reading to improve yourself. It's so easy to put those on the back burner and say, I'll do it tomorrow. But what we really need to do is book time every day to do these important but not time-sensitive activities. Now, 3 is a huge box as well, and that's urgent and not important, and we do this all the time. Box 4 I'm not even going to talk about, which is not urgent, not important. That's basically like scrolling through Facebook or looking at Pinterest, things like that, which is fine. You can do that a little bit, but we spend way too much time in box 4. Now, another way to really kind of use habits is to make a pre-planned decision. This is a great example. This is Coach Kelly. He's a high school football coach in Arkansas. And what he has decided, and he tells his team, they never punt. All right, for those of you who watch football, that's a pretty scary proposition. So they asked him, how do you handle the stress when your team's, it's 4th down, you're on your own 1-yard line, and you're not going to punt? And this is what he says. By deciding ahead of time, he takes the emotion out of each decision. And then he says, at that point, it's easy. He's been very successful, obviously. But you can do this in a lot of things in life. You can make a decision. I'm the kind of person that exercises. I'm the kind of person that does not blow off my morning workout. I'm the kind of person that doesn't eat donuts. I'm the kind of person that doesn't drink soft drinks. I'm the kind of person that doesn't eat candy. when you pre-make that decision, instead of having that fight every time you see a can of Coke, every time you see a box of candy at the nursing station or at your friend's house, you just automatically know, I'm not going to do it. That's so much easier than having that willpower fight, tug of war every time that comes up. Now, another way is what we call the habit loop. And this is how you take your idealized goal, make it into a habit so that it runs on autopilot. So like we talked about before, willpower, you can burn that up. Habits basically take very low energy. It's running on autopilot. So you want to put as much of your life into a habit loop as possible. Now, the first thing is the cue. You have to make it obvious. Now, for me, I sleep in my exercise clothes. So when I wake up, I'm automatically reminded I should probably exercise. What people can do is your gym bag, don't put it away in your closet. Leave it out so you can see it, so you know I gotta go exercise tomorrow. Make it obvious. The second thing is craving, make it attractive. Like if you're talking about changing your diet, one of the big rules is it has to taste good or it's a non-starter. Why would you want to eat food that tastes horrible, looks horrible? So like if you want to eat more veggies, if there's a certain veggie you like, eat more of that. If there's a certain fruit you like, eat that as dessert every single meal. If you don't like tofu, don't like quinoa, can't pronounce quinoa, don't eat it. There's other things you can eat that are healthy. The third thing is actually the habit itself. This is where you're going to embed the habit. And the most important thing is make it easy. If you go back to exercise, like the gym bag example, the night before, put your gym clothes in the gym bag, your shoes in the gym bag, so you're ready to go. Don't give yourself an excuse in the morning to say, I'm going to skip today because it's too hard to get this all together. For me, I don't go to a gym. I either run outside my house or run on a treadmill downstairs. And even downstairs, we have extra running shoes and socks down there. There's not even an excuse to go back up the stairs from the basement to get your stuff. Make it easy. Now, probably the most important thing, though, is number 4. Make it satisfying. Reward yourself. What is the payoff for the habit you're trying to instill? If there's no reward or payoff, it's going to be very hard to ingrain the habit. So you want to eat more healthy. Suppose you like apples or grapes or whatever fruit. Say, hey, at the end of every healthy meal, I'm going to treat myself with a dessert of fruit. And that's the reward. For exercise, what's really great, if people could remember how they felt after they exercised, how mentally clear they felt, how much their stress level came down, how just energized they felt, that's the reward for exercise. And then there's some other things you can do, like if you do great for a couple of months, give yourself a treat, buy yourself a new workout outfit. There's a lot of different things you can do. But remember to reward yourself. Now, another thing to remember in the habit game is the tortoise and the hare. Most of us know this story, but most of us also blown this story off. But it's really, really important. Slow and steady wins the race. Here's a great example. The recommended weight loss is 2 pounds per week. Now, a lot of people say that's nothing. But if you do the math, that's 104 pounds per year. All of us would be totally transformed if we dropped 104 pounds. Let's look at some other examples. What's better? Should we play a bunch of lotto tickets when Mega Millions is up to several $100 million? Or should we slowly put money away in our 401k? What's going to really pay off for us 30 years down the line? It's going to be the 401k. We know that. We're not going to win lotto. The other thing is you rather take pills every day, go to the pharmacy once a month, organize your pills every morning, or would you rather exercise a little bit every day? What are the little trade-offs that you're going to make that are going to have slow impact and slow building blocks to get you healthier and make you happier? Now, don't get involved in the math here, but this is a really powerful illustration. So suppose you can increase or get better in one area by 1% every day. At the end of 1 year, you're going to have a dramatically improved ability to do whatever you're working on. Health, weight loss, knowledge base, whatever. Conversely, though, if you get 1% worse every day, at the end of 1 year, you're going to be a shell of your former self. If you decide, I'm going to give up, I'm going to let it all go, you're going to get way unhealthy, stop reading, stop exercising, all these things, your life is going to get so much worse. Little increments, up or down, can make a huge impact over time. So here's an example. I'm just going to focus on the far right column, how to become a vegan or how to become plant-based. So there's phases you can go through. You don't want to go from meat eater like crazy to the next day totally plant-based, because that's probably not going to last. You're going to use up all your willpower doing it. So one way to do it is eat more veggies at a meal. Phase 2, don't eat 4-legged animals. Phase 3, stop eating 2-legged animals like chicken and turkey. Phase 4, stop eating fish even. And Phase 5, go totally plant-based. Other ways to look at this is I'm going to have a meatless Monday, then I'm going to have a meatless Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then I'm going to have a meatless week, and then you can add the weekend. There's ways to slowly build into this so it's not such a shock to the system and your body and your whole lifestyle doesn't want to rebel. Now this is another example of the power of small habits. Great story by a guy named Marlon Gibson, you can look him up. But he weighed 405 pounds, but he dropped 245. And he did it just by diet and exercise, no gastric bypass surgery. Now the first thing he did was really interesting. He loved fried chicken, but he went from 8 pieces down to 6 pieces. When people hear things like that, they go, that's nothing, it's weak, that's not going to work, he's going to fail. But he went 8 pieces, 6 pieces, 4, 2, 0, baked chicken, 4, 2, 0, vegetarian. So he slowly eased into a plant-based lifestyle. Now the great thing now is not only has he changed his weight status, he talks about how much energy he has, how much more healthy he feels, how much more alive he feels. But he's now a motivational speaker, and now he's got a big career, making a lot of money, going around just talking about his transformation. So he's made a huge impact on himself by just cutting back on fried chicken. This is an advertisement for Under Armour for Steph Curry, but I love the message here. You are the sum of all your training. Every little move you make, diet-wise, reading-wise, exercise-wise, is having a positive impact on you. Now we got to think about the flip side here. This is a great little video. She only missed 2 points. She's crying. He missed 81. Okay, so we had to have some perspective. And what happens a lot of times is you're on a diet or exercise program, you have a bad meal, bad day, you skip 2 days exercise, and you decide to blow up the whole plan. You shouldn't do that. All right, treat it like kind of a bump in the road. It's not a moral failure. You had some bad times, get back on the wagon. And this goes back to the willpower thing. Now, there is a strategy to actually save willpower and not get destroyed when you have a bad day or you fall off the wagon. And that's called cheat days. There's a great example. So after filming a movie, The Rock, who is built and just ripped, he was on a very strict diet, very strict workout program for like 3 or 4 months filming this movie. At the end of the movie, he goes, I'm going to have a massive cheat day. And I'm a big believer in this. So what I do is I have a cheat day on Saturday. That's a day, go to church, meet a bunch of my friends, and it's hard for me to control what we're going to eat. So that's a day where I really kind of loosen up all the dietary rules that I have for myself, and I don't feel bad about it. I enjoy it, but coming on Sunday, I can get back onto my own diet and be a little bit more strict, eat a little bit more healthy. And so if you schedule in cheat days every now and then, that preserves willpower, that preserves your sanity, and lets you go longer in the course of reaching your goals. Here's another great quote here. Gentlemen, we will chase perfection and we will chase it relentlessly, knowing all the while we can never attain it. But along the way, we shall catch excellence. So we may set a really high goal. Even if we don't reach it, we've made huge progress from our current state. So it's worth pushing hard. It's worth having a big goal here. So finally, I want to end on this note. We are our choices. Every choice we make, good or bad, will have an impact on our overall health. So what we want to do is make more good choices. An easy way to do that is not relying on willpower, but build in habits that make these choices automatic for us. These are some great references on how to build habits. I read all these books, can highly recommend all of them. Thanks for watching this Kettering Health Network episode on how to use habits to reach your goals and become more healthy.